So somebody asked me, well, gosh, you haven't played Captain Fingers in 25 years, Lee. That's a hard tune. How was it? And I said, well, it's still hard, you know. And they said, well, could you play it as good now as you did then? I said, that's not a fair question, because back then we played it every Tuesday night for 5 years, you know. So give me that club again every Tuesday night for the next 5 years, and then record it, and it'll be fine, you know. But actually, surprisingly enough, it was great anyway, because it all just kind of came back.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming out tonight. We have another tune that we want to play from vintage baked potato days, the 70s. And this is a tune I wrote with great singer-songwriter Bill Chaplin from Chicago. And it's called Morning Glory. And we have a beautiful young lady to introduce to you. And she comes from a great dynasty of singer-songwriters. I want to introduce Miss Kenya Hathaway.
too late. When you turn your head inside, what's your name? Nothing that I try feels the same. 'Cause the one that still denies you remain. Morning glory. Morning glory. Morning glory. Morning glory. Won't you tell me why I'm too late? When you turn to me inside, what's your name? Nothing that I try feels the same. And the one that makes me high, you remain. You got to give what you're feeling. What I feel inside, you're too late.
Kenya Hathaway.
It's so nice to hear this, to see this, to feel this, because it's for me, it's a spiritual thing. It's a spiritual music. It's like it's 5, 6, or 7 people in one room negotiating, having a communicating with one another through their instruments, coming up with ideas, not knowing where one is going to go from one moment to the next. But the journey is the cool thing about it.
We'll start the song kind of straight up, and like you say, we start to go off and off, and then it comes back in different ways. And what's great about this project, you can see it on the video, you can see that interplay, and you can see that communication going on.
That moment when everyone is connected, there's complete trust. So the person who is the soloist can just express themselves, knowing that everyone else that's accompanying them is reacting based upon, a particular idea and expression. And it sounds to the listener a lot of times, when everybody's really on the same page, that they all go off in these completely different directions. But at its best, everyone knows where they are at all times. At all times. Then, when the moment is right for us to kind of reel it back in a little bit and relate it to where we took off, where the journey took off, to relate it again to the idea, the original idea, it's magical.
Thank you. So I just realized, this is going to be really strange because I'm going to play with my thin backside to all of you all night. But that way you're in the shot, So it's cool. And by the way, we got to introduce all these great musicians. Mr. Dave Grusin on piano. Baby Fingers, Patrice Rushen. Yeah. The man, Ernie Watts. Anthony Jackson on bass. Steve Foreman on percussion. Harvey Mason on drums. Think about Harv. Lee Ritenour. All right, and we're going over to the baked potato later to play.
What I've really enjoyed doing in the last few years is also cultivating a lot of young players and seeing their talent and feeling like a talent scout, And I guess I've actually, even when I was in my 20s and then 30s and 40s and now I'm 50, there was always that part of me that always knew how to find other great musicians. And sometimes they weren't well known at that time, and they joined my band and later went on to do, really big things.
Melvin Davis on the bass, Eric Marienthal, Oscar Seaton, Barnaby Finch.
it's exciting to have this quality of a project with these great musicians. People say, oh yeah, that's right. Wow, they're playing together. They're interacting. They're like, wow, they can really play their instruments. It's great music, you know. So I think that's important for a young audience to see this too, because I think the young audience is kind of forgetting that, or maybe they don't even know that it still exists, you know.
As far as young people are concerned, I think that's a possibly an untapped market for this kind of music. I know some kids who didn't grow up with this, but when they hear it, their ears pick up, you know. So I think that's a definite possibility.
I really do think people would or younger people would enjoy it more if they were exposed to it. They're not really exposed to it. There's no outlet for them to even hear it. So something like this being in the market, I think, is just a wonderful, wonderful thing.
I think it really will enhance jazz for people to see the excitement that's created and the spontaneity that happens on the spot. So I think it'll be great for new audiences to see that haven't taken the chance or taken the time to go into a club. So I think it'll be great.
It's amazing. It's such a great music, you know. It's great players, you know. I think that's the people that loves music, you know, is going to enjoy this project totally. You know, it's just for people that loves music.
There's a lot more than what's going on now. I mean, we have the pop culture, everybody's into what they're, but man, there's nothing like carrying on a conversation with your bandmate.
I think the sophistication of our music was going to have a nice niche there, because there's a lot of people out there that don't want to hear this stuff.
Lock the doors. Here we go.
Lee asked me to give him a couple of examples of where my vocal texture was so that he could see which songs he wanted me to sing background on or if he wanted me to do some lead. And I gave him that CD, and a couple of days later he called me up and asked me if he could do it. And I couldn't believe it.
And I kept hearing about this young lady, Kenya Hathaway, and I knew she was the daughter of the very, very, very famous Donny Hathaway and the sister of Layla Hathaway. So I called her up and I said, I've got this project happening in 2 weeks and I need somebody now. And I said, I've heard that you're quite talented. And I said, can you send me your demo reel? So she sent me the reel, and she came over and she introduced herself, and we jammed a little bit in my studio, and I listened to her CD, and I said, you're on, you're hired.
Kenya's voice to me obviously is an extension of her father, Donny Hathaway. And she sounds like her dad. And her voice to me is very spiritual.
There was just such a warm feeling to be performing with people that I've been listening to all of my life, that have played with my father and that I grew up listening to around the house. So I got into it. I really enjoyed it, and I will never live this down. I'll never live this experience down. It was just amazing.
All right, we're going to turn to a few vocal tunes here now. This is two of my new favorite singers. And this first gentleman has been singing with me for a little less than a year. And he comes from a great musical family, 5 brothers, all sing and dance. They got a great band that you're going to hear about called Brother. And I want you to give a warm welcome to Mr. Grady Harrell. Come on, Grady. Yeah. All right. The young lady coming up, she's comes from this musical dynasty of Donny Hathaway, Layla Hathaway. And give a warm welcome to a great talent, Miss Kenya Hathaway. Yeah. And like her papa, she's a writer. And I heard this tune of hers. I think you wrote it fairly recent, right? And so we're going to do her tune, feature a little bit of Kenya and the band here. And it's called Possibilities. Check it out.
It never tells what you should do. It makes you guess. It's up to you when you start thinking of possibilities. There's no guarantee. What you get is what you see. Only your heart will tell you to take the chance, 'cause you can't deny what lies inside of yourself. Lightning never strikes twice. I've heard it said, gotta roll the dice. Let it come what may. Yeah. Guarantee it is what you see. Yeah. Can't deny yourself. Yeah. It's gonna take some time for me to erase your face from my memory. Oh, when you start thinking, guarantees only your heart to take the chance, yeah. Possibility.
Thank you very much. We're going to bring up one more guest here. Great trumpet player that first became world renowned through Sting's band, and he's made quite a splash with his own records. And this year he joined us on the Twist of Motown, all the great Motown tunes that we did. And we're going to feature the great Mr. Chris Bodie, along with Kenya Hathaway, Grady Harrell, Oscar Seaton, Melvin Davis, Barnaby Finch, Eric Marienthal in the shadows, myself, Mr. Lee Ritenour, and you, Hollywood. This is Papa Was a Rolling Stone.
It was the 3rd of September. That day I'll always remember. Yes, I will. 'Cause that was the day that my daddy died. I never got a chance to see him. Never heard nothing but bad things about him. Mama, I'm depending on you to tell me the truth. Mama just hung her head and said, Papa was a rolling stone. Yeah, yeah. Wherever he laid his hat was his home. And when he died, all he left us was alone. Yeah. Papa was a rolling stone. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wherever he laid his hat was his home.
They say that Papa never worked a day in his life. Saying Papa had 3 outside children and another wife. That ain't right. Talk about Papa doing some storefront preaching. Talk about saving souls and all the time leeching. Dealing in dirt, stealing in the name of the Lord. Ooh, yeah.
Was a rolling stone.
Yeah.
Wherever he laid his hat was his home. And when he died,
all he left us was alone. Yeah.
Papa was a rolling stone. Wherever he laid his hat was his home. And when he died,
all he left us was alone. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Said Papa would beg, borrow, and steal just to pay the bill.
Folks said Papa was never much on thinking. Spent most of his time chasing women and drinking. Mama, I'm depending on you to tell me the truth. Ooh, yeah.
Papa was a rolling stone.
Yeah.
Wherever he laid his hat was his home. And when he died,
Oh, they left us was alone. Left us alone, yeah.
Papa was a rolling stone. Yeah, yeah. Wherever he laid his hat was his home. When he died, all that left us was alone. Yeah.
Papa was a rolling stone. Yeah.
Wherever he laid his hat was his home. And when he died,
Oh, they left us was alone. Left us alone, yeah.
Papa was a rolling stone. Yeah, yeah. Wherever he laid his hat was his home. And when he died, all he left us was alone. Yeah.
Chris Bodie, Grady Harrell, Kenya Hathaway, Oscar Seaton.
Oh, yeah.
Someone's just outside, knocking at my door. A stranger, somebody alone. Someone's in my dreams.
you? Is it you? Is it you? Is it you? You? Who's that deep inside, sneaking round my heart? Are you somebody in love? Show me what you're doing and tell me who you are. Hey, I'm ready for love. For love. Is it you? Is it you? Is it you? Is it you? You? If it's you, come out in the open. You don't need to hide your love. If it's you, you know I'm hoping on, 'cause it's way too late to run away. Don't run away from love, my love. Is it you? Is it you? Knocking on my door.
Is it my imagination?
Is it you? Can't get off my mind. Is it
You?
Is it you?
Can't get you off my mind.
Or is it my imagination?
Or is it my imagination? Yeah, yeah. You, yeah. Is it you?
Sneaking round my heart.
Is it my imagination?
Stop running from it, lady. Oh yeah. Ooh, can't get off my mind. Oh, oh. Is it you?
Running through my mind.
Or is it my imagination? Is it you?
Yeah, yeah. Can't get you off my mind.
You.
Yeah. Run away, don't run away from love, my love.
This was a wonderful experience to set up the stage as we did. Normally, you're all on a flat across a stage and you're looking out at an audience who's a little distance away. And this way, where we played in a circle and we played in kind of this unplugged kind of environment, and you don't know if it's a studio, you don't know if it's somebody's house, a living room, a club. And we're not going to tell anyone, because it doesn't matter. It ended up being an incredible environment. And once I explained to the musicians on the phone, to Dave Grusin, to Patrice, to Harvey Mason, to Ernie Watts, Anthony, Oscar Seaton, Melvin Davis, all the guys, I said, this is going to be a little different. You can invite a few people, but we're not really concerned about the audience. We're going to play to each other in kind of a circle. And they said, really? That's fantastic. You mean just like when we're rehearsing over at your house? I said, yeah, just like that.
The way that this was done, with us kind of all sitting around each other And, you know, that's the way we usually work. Now, most people would say, well, no, I go to a concert and you're over there and he's over there and he's on a riser and he's down here and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, that's the way we've been known to present it. That's been the way it's been presented for years and years and years. But with the technology that we have now, the things that we have now, I think one of the things that's important is for people to be able now to use the technology to allow us to feel more.
Because in some cases, live things sometimes mean concerts, arenas, with stacks of amplifiers and a lot of noise and a lot of volume and so forth, in an attempt to incite a crowd to madness, you know. Or there's the club situation, which is all kind of intimate and close and acoustic, and this is somewhere in between. This is a totally different experience.
It is about the experience of the music, not just hearing the music. It's experiencing the music with the knowledge that you are witnessing something for the first and the last time. It will never be as it is at that moment. And what a joy it is, you know, for everybody to have an opportunity, at least for an hour or two, to operate completely in the moment. It's great.
This type of get-together, with or without the production going on, is just rare.
A soloist like Lee, who's among the elite, he has to be able to find people who can play, who can support his desire to play.
We've still got that childlike fun. It was just so much fun, just jamming with Dave and Patrice and Ernie and Harvey and Anthony and the new guys and Kenya and the young ones and the old ones. It was just fun, and that's what music's supposed to be.
There's nothing more fun than playing with other musicians that you respect and enjoy, and the reunion aspect of it is fun too. All of these guys going way back.
Being with all these guys, it's such a pleasure.
It's something so fresh and something so alive about it that I think that it will transcend like a barrier, like a musical barrier. It was fun. It was fun and it felt good. And that's all people really need.
I think you can see, you can feel that we belong playing together. There's no doubt about that.
Very, 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 very loose. The people were having a great time, so it was very comfortable. I had a ball. It was fun to do.
So I think that this it will be inspirational for a lot of people. And you know what? It'll be fun. And if that's all that it does, if it brings people a few hours of enjoyment, it was worth every second.
I think for me, if this project can do something, I'd like to have it show that music can reach all different kind of boundaries, and that it can all happen on the same stage in the same day, all at the same time.
She walks, she is so full, flower in the garden, bob in the sunlight, flirting with her eyes. When she walks by, I see a wave of colors, moving like an angel, trailing butterflies. Give me water, give me inspiration. I wanna speak now, but I can't find a word. So I'm forgiven my infatuation. Now that I know she walks upon the earth, she walks this earth. Upon the earth, she walks this earth.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you.
Dave Grusin, Yvonne Lenz, Anthony Jackson, Steve Foreman, Alex Acuna, Harvey Mason. Thank you. Good night.